I'm Vicki Hogarth, and welcome to Southwest Magazine. Mariners Music Fest takes place in the St. George area, August 15th through to the 18th. Here to speak with us about it today is co-founder of the festival, Wilfred Langmaid. Thank you so much, Wilfred, for sitting down with me today.
Well, a great pleasure, and I want to thank you so much for your ongoing support and our publicity.
I think that you've come here since the inception of the festival, so we're so thankful to have you back. And tell us a little bit about how it's evolved to what it is. The first time you were here, it was a one-day festival.
That's correct.
Now it's the 15th through the 18th of August. What can we expect from this year's edition?
Well, the good thing is we've recognized from the start that we want to have more community partners, we want to have more people involved, we want to have more events, and we're delivering that in spades this year. And a hallmark of everything that we are doing is that festival performers are going to be providing music at all events.
Okay, well, walk us through some of the highlights.
Sure. Well, let's do it chronologically. For the first time this year, we've got our own event on the Thursday. So on the Thursday, the 15th, we are holding a seniors tea that is being hosted by the St. George Masonic Lodge, and music is being provided by the Laurie's Warwich Duo. Laurie's been part of our festival, but this is a new initiative, and I think she's going to be a perfect fit for that event. So that's the Thursday, and tickets are available at the door for $15 for that event. So you get a nice bit of dainties and tea and coffee. There is a bar available with mimosas and other items, and of course lovely music happening throughout the event. So that's the Friday. The Friday now is what we have stretched out a little bit. We are again having it at Magadavick Place on J.O. Spinney Road. We are again working very happily in conjunction with the cooperators and also with the Fundy 3-on-3 basketball tournament put on by Fundy Minor Basketball. So weather permitting, of course, that fun is all going to be taking place. Meanwhile, we're going to be providing our own music at that very event. And the Ross Lee Band is going to perform. So that means that Ross is going to be joined with some musical friends. He will be joined by Skip Justison and Natalie Steen and myself. And the three of us are part of the Saturday program as well. So that runs from 5 until 9 on the Friday. And there's going to be a barbecue as part of that event.
Okay, so that's the 16th. Now I know this all builds up to Saturday the 17th, which is sort of the focal point of the festival. Tell us a little bit about what you have in store for Saturday, August 17th.
Well, the most exciting news, I think, apart from the great musicians that are involved, is the fact that we have a new partnership with the Hollows Golf Club. And as your viewers will know, there's been some wonderful work done at the Hollows in recent months. And so they welcomed us with open arms. And I looked at the site last week, and I couldn't be more thrilled. So music is going to be going continuously from 12 o'clock noon until 10 o'clock at night. And by continuously, I'm being very intentional in saying that, because we learn from our earlier efforts. And last year there was the sort of thing that for you would be horrific, for me as music director was horrific, dead air. The fact that it took forever and a day sometimes for some performers to leave the stage and other performers to take the stage. So this year, what we are having is Ross Lee not having his own specific set on the Saturday, but he is acting as co-host, which is more than significant because musically he has been my right hand and partner in this. His spouse, Ann Dewar, is the co-founder of the festival with me. So we all work in very close association with each other. So at any rate, as a performer finishes their set, Ross is going to be on stage and he is going to perform a song. And that will give time for audience members to enjoy his song the other members of the previous act or member of the previous act to leave the stage. The stage at the Hollows is large enough that this is all going to work very seamlessly. And then by the time they have left and Ross has finished his song, our sound man, Aaron Gunn, is going to be able to get the next act ready to perform. So a minimum of dead air, and because that was certainly a concern of mine and of others last year, and I think we've taken a very proactive step in rectifying it. The program is scheduled to start with some shorter country and traditional country and soft rock sets in the early afternoon, and then longer, more rock sets as the evening goes on. So that means that these sets will be each of specific lengths, and different people will perform at different times. So for instance, my set is sort of in the 5 o'clock ballpark, and Sandy Leland will be in the 6 o'clock ballpark, Joshua Osborne in the 7 o'clock ballpark, and the Mike Chase Band will close the show with a set running from 8 until 10.
And all set at this beautiful new venue.
Yes.
For people who aren't familiar with it, why is it so special, this venue?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, it is physically beautiful. It allows everyone to stretch out comfortably. It also, quite honestly, allows us to avoid things other than the festival that we were trying to put on in years past that are going to be looked after by the Hollows itself. So one great example is the bar. They are looking after all of that. So we can just focus on putting on good entertainment, having the beautiful art and artisan displays that are a hallmark of our festival with a nautical theme, where Judy Eilerson and her team have some absolutely stunning artwork that they have done themselves. And certainly, if when you come, you will see that, and you will be thrilled at that. There will be archival displays. There will also be lots of great food vendors, lots of opportunity for everything. But the core of it all is the music. From the time that Running Out of Time begins our festival at 12 noon, I'm sorry, not at 12 noon, at 12:15, we are going to begin with a welcome and a time of remembrance and a territorial acknowledgement. So after that 15 minutes or so, Running Out of Time will take the stage. We will then go with Tom and Andrea Mason, Maxine Justison, and the list goes on and on and on.
And so this is straight music, right? Till
straight music.
11?
Until 10.
10 p.m. Wow.
Another thing we did last year is we ran it until 11. It got too cold. We were outside, and so we thought we will run it until 10. And so after Maxine, Sharon Vautour will perform, and Martha Barker will then perform. Natalie Steen will then perform. John Martin will then perform. Claudette and Zeta Norman will then perform. And then the artists, myself and onward, that I'd mentioned previously. So continuous music for 10 hours.
An incredible lineup. And before we get into how you put together a festival and grow it to the number of days it is now, I'd love to just get an overview of Sunday, because now we have this Sunday, the
absolutely.
18th, also in the lineup.
And that's a first. It had been a dream of Anne's and mine, and particularly Anne. She's the visionary behind all of this, and really, as a retired person, it's literally a full-time job for her. I marvel at the work that she does. But she wanted this to have great variety and running for more than 1 day, and the 4 days was her vision, and so we filled that with Sunday morning. A great idea that a committee member gave us was involve local churches. So various festival performers will be at local churches on the Sunday morning, at their worship services, and or at any gathering times after the service. So as just one of many examples, Martha Barker is a parishioner at St. Mark's Anglican Church. That is my home church, and so it's going to be a great joy for me to offer something in that way on the Sunday morning, and lots of other examples in the community. Then we are going to have a grand finale and that is from 4 to 6, again moving back to the St. George Masonic Lodge. We're so thrilled that they have become a community partner with us this year. And the St. George Lodge is going to be putting on a grand roast beef supper with all the fixins. And including one of the things that they're famous for is they have, after this great meal, they have a slab cake with the appropriate logo. So the logo of the Mariners Music Fest, and I'm sure in a theatrical way I'll get Anne to cut the cake at the end of the meal. My musical friend John Martin and I are going to be providing the musical entertainment there from 4 to 6, and the cost of that is what I would suggest is a bargain for all that's being offered, $20.
Wow. Now, can you buy those tickets at the door, or do people buy them ahead of time?
Okay. As far as the 2 events at the Masonic Hall, they can be bought at the door, or arrangements can be made with any lodge member to ensure seating. And I'd suggest the latter approach be taken. Again, rather than us trying to do everything this year, because you really get spread too thin, they are taking the lead on that. I would be shocked if there weren't tickets available at the door, but I've been shocked before at things in my life. So just contact any lodge member and they'll fix you right up. As far as the Saturday festival, however, we welcome and encourage advance ticket sales, and we're providing a hook or two for that. The best is you can save $3. If you arrive on the Saturday, you're more than welcome. It's $15 at the door. However, you can buy advance tickets at this point for $12 a piece. You can either do that through emailing Mariners Alumni Association, all one word. It's not all one word, but we've turned it into one word. Mariners Alumni Association at gmail.com, and simply do an e-transfer for $12 per person. Or you can go to Salon Elite on the Letite Road, and apart from Lorraine and her team doing their great job of making you look beautiful, which has been her career, there is also the opportunity they will sell you a ticket for $12. Nice. And if you get the advance ticket, it's not only that you save $3, but you are also given I forget the fancy name of the glass, but it has a lid and it has a straw, and that's because I operate without notes. I'm flying with a tightrope without a net. But trust me, they're a nice cup and they have the logo on them. And as well, these will be available to the first 100 people who come through the door on Saturday who have purchased a ticket.
Oh, wonderful.
So that is worth mentioning, because people do purchase tickets to attend the festival, but as part of our partnership with the Hollows, golf club members get free admission to the Saturday festival. However, we certainly welcome donations from people who attend, and knowing the generosity of people in the community and the people who are members of the golf club, I would be very surprised if we do not receive donations from golf club members. But regardless, they are welcome and encouraged to attend.
And so much of the funds raised go back to the community, and you mentioned the Alumni Association.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the association
Sure.
and then how the festival
Sure.
benefits the community?
Well, ever since the association formed in April of 2022, when it was formed basically out of a spontaneous conversation between Ann Dewar and me, the recognition was, yes, we want to gather people together. We want to have a fun, at that point, one day together, but we want to do things to help and support the school. So ever since then, we have proudly supported a $1,000 bursary for a graduate of Fundy Midland High School every year, as long as they are attending post-secondary education of some sort in a post-secondary institution in September. So, my heavens, a very short time away. So the award winner for this year has been named, and again, that's something we are hands off on that. There is a committee at the school who determines the bursary winner, And so their education has received an extra $1,000 of support. And I've worked at a university for a couple of decades plus, and I'm deeply aware, as I'm sure all your viewers are aware, that going to post-secondary education is a wonderful investment, but it is an investment. It costs money. So we love to support in that way. We also have done other things to support the school with the funds that we've raised. For instance, last year, not only ourselves, but also in association with the Jeff Whittier Memorial Golf Tournament and other community partners, we're delighted that new volleyball nets, which were sorely needed, were provided for the school. How sorely needed? Well, I graduated from Fundy High School in 1978. Those nets were nice then, but 1978 was a while ago. And so it's wonderful that that the student athletes and the people taking phys ed courses at the school have volleyball nets. And we feel a good sense of pride that we have been a part of that as well.
You are the first graduating class of
Yes.
Fundy High Middle School.
Yes, I was a child protege. No, I wasn't a child protege. It's sort of in the public record that I graduated in the class of 1978 and graduated in the class of 1980. And both of us are very passionate, as are the core members of the organizing and festival committee, that we want to leave a legacy for people going onward to continue to come together for fun. And as long as I have anything to do with it, music is going to be at the core of it, but also to raise funds to support students and support the school.
Yeah, why is it so important to you as a professor now in Fredericton to give back to where you came from, not just in terms of grants and fundraising, but also in terms of bringing a festival back to your roots, where you're from? Why is that so important?
Well, it's very neat. I played in a band. I did have scholarship support, but I also played in Gordie Mitchell and his orchestra back in the day, and that greatly supported my university education back in the day. But for many, many years, I was not involved in public performance. I did a little bit of volunteer work in the latter part of the last decade, and then COVID hit, and I started what was called a virtual kitchen party for my colleagues and myself in student affairs and services. It was very low tech, it was on Teams, but this close-knit group of people were joined together by music, and we would each perform in our own homes. And it was really the only time every month that during those very, very difficult days that we people who enjoyed seeing each other and enjoyed working together had this association with each other. And so we'd be performing our songs and people would be in the Teams chat sharing their reminiscences. And so as soon as Anne and I thought about something coming out of COVID, and again, the coming out of COVID was part of our original discussions, we thought, bring something back to the community. And lo and behold, the great blessing for me, one of the many great blessings for me, is now I feel far closer to so many people from my hometown. I've lived away from St. George for 45 years. I've made a life for myself, and married, and my wife Shelley. We have 3 adult children, and Fredericton is our home now, and it's where I will retire. But to be able to come back to my hometown and see all these people and plan for something on a yearly basis means I personally am never going to lose touch with my roots that are just so important.
Are you seeing that, Mark, now that the festival's leaving on the community, in terms of feedback you get from people who go, who are either just there as festival goers or participants?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, as far as festival participants, we have one performer who Natalie Steen, who never played at all until age 47, and then just started playing at family events, and was asked by Anne to join the festival in the first year. She had no idea of the scale that it was going to be. She now performs all the time, and so she very much enjoys it. Then there are other people who do play together quite frequently, but never with the same group of people, and certainly never with me. This is a once-a-year thing for me that I very much treasure.
What are your dreams when you look ahead of where the festival could go, what it could be? Where do you hope to see it 5, 10 years from now?
Well, a few things. I'd like to see more First Nations involvement, and Anne and I are both very passionate about that. We are going to have a territorial acknowledgement in the beginning, but that is a sincere gesture on our part. But we really, really would like to have Indigenous performers and Indigenous artisans being part of the festival, and we would like to have more involvement from more people, and we'd like to have people whose hair color is different than mine. I think it's quite clear to your viewers that I don't dye my hair, and the bulk of it, probably all of us on the core festival committee are over the age of 55. And so we would truly love to, in recognition of the fact that we aren't going to be doing this forever, but we want to leave something behind that will continue to do those two wonderful things: to bring people together for a day of fun every year and to support the school.
Mm-hmm. When you look at this year's lineup, what are some of the events you're most looking forward to at Mariners Music Fest?
I guess it's probably the new ones. I mean, you know you can count on your wonderful people who have been involved right from the outset, delivering so much good material. But we're delighted this year, for the first time, John Martin is a performer. The reason he wasn't involved in previous years is he is heavily involved in the Sea Shanty Festival, which always clashed with this festival. So we've moved this festival forward a week this year, and one of the benefits from that is that John is going to be a participant. And so highlighting the younger performers again, it is also lovely to see performers like Sandy Leland and Joshua Osborne, who are really, really coming so far from that first year of the festival when we started in 2022. Not that they weren't great then, but for me, it's like watching a student blossom. For me to watch a musician blossom is just a very, very wonderful thing. And also, I need to acknowledge the very first year of the festival, Mike Chase was going to close the festival. For health reasons, he was unable to. So this is really bringing it to a wonderful conclusion for the festival, that the Mike Chase Band is going to be performing, and that's a first. Mike performed solo last year, but to have his band. And the other thing is the Friday night involvement with the Ross Lee Band, and the hopes that the open mic component will bring forward some younger people. We really, really hope that that will be the case, and what we promise is a very supportive, nurturing musical environment where veteran players like Skip Justison and myself will be there with Ross to just provide whatever backing, if any, that younger musicians might like to involve. And the other thing that I am especially excited about this year is more corporate sponsorship than we have ever had before. I will forget names if I list them. And it costs a lot of money to put on a festival. And a 4-day festival costs a lot more money than a 1-day festival. So those sponsorships are very much welcomed. And the fact that businesses that are not corporate sponsors, but are still businesses supporting us, they are purchasing festival signs that are displayed on the site, acknowledging their commitment to this initiative. And also a very special and near and dear to my heart is memorial signs, which people can, again, they can purchase those. So these are all things that I'm excited about. The other thing that I want to say that I'm excited about and want to acknowledge with incredible gratitude is that we have support this year from Arts and Culture NB, which is everything helps. And we were really concerned a few weeks ago, like, how are we going to pull this off? And is this going to be another year that the musicians aren't going to get a cent? As it turns out, that won't be the case this year. So we're very, very thankful for that. And I'm excited that there's going to be more people than ever before, not only on the Saturday. I can't stress enough how the backdrop of the Hollows Golf Club is going to work so well and bring people that would otherwise never be there, but also that we have these extra events that people that have never been a part of things before will be.
Well, Wilfred, thank you so much for coming in to tell us all about this year's edition, and please come back anytime, and we look forward to seeing you there.
I can't wait to send. If you want to come to any open mic, you're welcome.
You don't want me at an open mic, but I'll be there.
Wonderful. I look forward to it, and thank you again for your support and all you do in the community.
Thanks, Wilfred. My guest today has been Wilfred Langmaid, co-founder of the Mariners Music Fest on in St. George from August 15th to 18th. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Southwest Magazine.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO Television.